Hello everyone and welcome to another traditional cube on Magic Arena. This is the same cube that will be played in the Decathlon finals, and the next cube drafts I will be uploading will be those Decathlon finals drafts, but there will be also one Crimson Vow draft in between. Okay, what should I pick here? I'm not sure quite what is the strongest kind of card in this pack. Nothing is like amazing. If you want to force mono red, you could take some of these like Soul Scar Mage. I don't want to do this because the first one I recorded was mono red splashing for white. I'd rather take something different now. This is actually a fairly weak pack. Dollhouse, not really that interesting. Memory Lapse, I like it more than the Neutralize. I could take the Memory Lapse. Magma Opus could be interesting, but that's kind of tying you to blue-red right away. I'll just take the Memory Lapse. It's always going to be a fine 2-mana play, so let's take that when there's really not anything else to... because the power level of the cards wasn't really that amazing. Here there are some bunch of interesting options here. I think I will take the counter spell because it is a good continuation for the Memory Lapse. Key to the Archive will be a fine one. Colorless will always be playable, and I think quite good enough. Usually the card you can get from here is something that'll be quite interesting. But yeah, let's take the counter spell and stay blue here. Maybe a bit of a controlist deck as a contrast to my previous deck, which was like a aggressive small creatures, and well, some medium-sized creatures too, but they were backed up with the burn spells. Alright, Behold the Multiverse is quite easy now that I have reasons to keep mana up, so the instant speed card draw will be nice here. And I don't know about my second color, and who knows, maybe I'm mono blue, I guess that's a possibility. Alright, well, there is a win condition in Teferi's Tutelage. There's also a Sedgemoor Witch, which I actually like quite a bit. All of these things trigger it. I think the pick is either of those. Sedgemoor Witch is actually quite good. You can just make a lot of those pest tokens with it. The Tutelage is, yeah, it's a win condition, but then again, not. I think I like to be the kind of a creature deck instead of trying to mill the opponent out. But this could be a very strong pick here. I wouldn't blame you if you pick this, but I like the witch quite a bit here. So let's try to have like a bunch of creatures in addition to these counter spells here. Alright, Crypt Breaker. Could make some zombies and then start drawing cards. There's no blue-black dual land here. There's an Approach if I was like a white-blue control deck. Very good option to have that. Into the Royal Charter Cause. I mean, Crypt Breaker could be good because you can leave mana up for these counter spells, and then if there's nothing to counter, you can just make a 1/1 zombie. Sorry, 2/2 a zombie. If you have something to discard. Now that I took the witch, I actually like that idea more than picking something like an Into the Royal here. So let's see. Okay, there's a Fetid Pools. I'm most likely going to take because these. Otherwise, the Malevolent Hermit would be totally fine here. I would take that over the Witch or the Clone Crafter or the Guard Eternal here, or the Ornithopter of Paradise, which I guess is an option too. But if I'm going to be blue-black, I want to take all the blue-black dual lands. I won't be running out of playables, but that's the reason why I picked the lands over pretty much anything. Now there's a very good set of red cards. The Chandra, Torch of Defiance, and the Glorybringer are both first pick worthy cards in a cube. They are both now in at pick number 7, which is really awkward. Lurus, Silumgar's Command, counter target. I suppose this does enough things. I'm gonna try this. I don't like the Liliana that much. I like to play the instants with these counter spells anyway. So, but I'm kind of if I opened either of these red cards, I would just easily first pick it. They are really good. Okay, Opt or a Disfigure. This cube has a bunch of creatures. Opt is still. Well, I guess when Disfigure is good, it is really good. But Opt is also a nice way to trigger the Sedgemoor Witch, but I'm not gonna want to build around this one card too much here. Well, I don't know. It's gonna be one of these, but okay, let's have the removal spell. There's enough creatures in the cube to make it worth it. Alright, so neutralize and delve of secrets. I guess I have some ways to flip it. Actually, I have 5 out of my 7 cards that are spells are that ones that can flip the delver. Should I do it? Neutralize is a decent counter spell, but I already have 2 of them, and this is worse counter spell than these ones. So I'll take the delver here. Let's try to have a blue-black. Okay, well there's a Prime Bone Cutthroat, works with the instant speed effects I have quite nicely. It is going to be better than the Fire Action Arena. Okay, so I guess this is gonna be like a blue-black sort of a flash or instant deck. Rankle, Hasty Creature, why not? So it's not gonna be a counter spell deck. Wow, the Tutelage came back. I guess I'll keep it as a sideboard option against some control deck. And here I'm more likely to splash red than green, so let's take the Spy Buff canal here. Clone Crafter or a Guardian Channel Buntu. I think I like the 2-drop more than the 5-drop. That's not really the best 5-drop this cube has. There are better options. Anyway, I'm not exactly a counter spell deck. I mean, in the sense that that I would be aiming for the late game. I will have now these cheap creatures, and then which I try to get to play on to the battlefield, and then I have some counter backup here. Alright, here Bubble Snare, Gifted Aetherborn, Alirius. I like the Alirius because it's basically a 2-for-1. The Aetherborn is really decent against creature decks, so it's a nice sideboard card. But I guess out of these options I will take the Alirius here. I do want to find more blue-black dual lands, but there's one. Is that going to be the peak? Well, it actually is quite easily. I would take the Siren Storm Tamer, but this can easily come back at pick number 10, and Drowned Catacomb is the clearly correct choice here. And now I get an Erebos's Intervention. There's a Find, because you can cast a Find, even though if you can't cast a Finality with just black mana. Then there's a Keruga, but I don't think I will have that many, expensive permanents in this deck, so the Keruga won't be good, and obviously it won't be played as a companion. Right, so Intervention, Find. It's gonna be one of those. I guess I'll take the Intervention. And Inscription of Ruin, Disallow, Faceless Agent. Well, I think I'm going to take this. The fact it also counters, abilities is gives some nice flexibility to the card, and I don't think the Inscription of Ruin is that interesting. Although I might still play it if it came back to me when the pack comes, returns to me. But I don't have to worry about that right now. Okay, so there's a Murderous Rider. There's a Sark Typhoon, which works nicely with the plan to leave mana up for counter spells, and of course the Meathook Massacre, but I think I have enough creatures here that I don't want to be eliminating my own massacres. I'll take the Sark Typhoon. I think that works with the kind of a flash plan here, and what works also is the Nimble Obstructionist, although there's a Supreme Will which you could have, but this is also a 3-mana counter spell. I already picked one. I'd rather take the creature here. This also has a nice cycling trigger. You need to counter some abilities, you get to draw a card and counter an ability of some kind. Colahan's command is really good, but I think I'm not going to splash the red. I'll just be blue-black here, most likely. Bone Splitter, Thassa. I don't think I have many things that are worth blinking. There is the Alirius, and that's pretty much it, I think. Yeah, definitely not a particularly good one. I might take the Might Triton because it does work with the Crypt Breaker. It's a zombie, so I think it's fine here. Hard Evidence doesn't interest me too much. The 3-mana Saga, no thanks. Bone Splitter, it's okay, but I would have to be like a more creature focused in order to play the Bone Splitter. I have 8 creatures here only. Alright, so here Dread Wanderer, another zombie, by the way, for the Crypt Breaker. Shadow Spear, a nice sideboard card, but I think I'll just take the 1-drop here. And here, Bubble Snare for the sideboard. I didn't get the other card back. What there was something I was interested in, perhaps, but I guess this is a fine sideboard card. And Blood for Bones. This deck won't be interested in that. I'm just not sure if it's gonna be interested in the Guardian Idol either. But there really isn't much to reanimate in this deck, so I'll take the Idol. Probably put to the sideboard right away. I'm not sure if I want to have 2 mana rocks in this deck. And now I can take Find Finality, or maybe the Find for my sideboard. And Scholar of the Lost Trove costs 7 mana. Of course the ability is pretty good, but I think I'll take the Witch here, although it's also a 5-drop I'm not really interested in playing. Here, nothing too exciting. Black Predation, Bean Whale. I don't know. Let's take the discard. I think that's slightly more useful than the -2/-0 effect. Folio of Fancies. I guess that's a sideboard card. Alright, so I have only 2 of these lands. Let's hope to get at least 1 more. This pack doesn't help there. So there's a removal spell considered. There's a Hive of the Eye Tyrant, which is just a free spell in the sense that, well, it's not a spell, but a free, improvement of your deck quality because it only replaces a basic swamp. Glass Pool Mimic is okay too. Baleful Master. I do want to have some removal here, but maybe. Yeah, I think I just want to take the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. It's a strict upgrade to the deck, I think. Valky, but I don't have Tybalt mana plus it costs 7. So Knight of the Even Legion is actually more interesting here. There's also Thassa's Intervention, which I would want to have, and the Alrund/Haka, and Chainer's Edict too. Maybe I get some of that back. I think now I'll just take the aggressive 1-drop here. Well, I'm not sure how aggressive that is, but 1-drop anyway. Alright, there's a Dismiss a multiple choice of Vraska's Contempt. Also another counter spell. This is more like a sideboard card. It doesn't do much against the aggressive decks. Still a very good sideboard card, of course. Bastion of Remembrance. Maybe this is more like a sacrifice deck, but I mean the card for a sacrifice deck, which my deck isn't. Dismiss is just a very clean effect. Counter and draw. I guess I'll just take that, even though the multiple choice is also good. But this is mostly good when you have 5 mana. And I don't want to play too many expensive cards in this deck. Sign in Blood is also fine, but I'll take the counter spell. Okay, there's a Temple of Deceit. And, well, I wouldn't mind having Tainted Adversary here, but I'll take the dual land. I'm not gonna gamble on that coming back to me. Here, Seldred, this is really decent in a Reanimator deck, but I won't be that one. Actually, this big picture of this card actually blocked Shipwreck Marsh, which is my easy pick here. Now I have 4 of these blue-black duals. There are a total of 6 duals for the allied color pairs, and there are a total of 5 duals for the enemy color pairs. Plus there are triumphs and other lands that can make you access all kind of mana. Alright, Siphon Insight, Hullbreaker Horror. I don't think this deck wants to have the Hullbreaker though, but it could want to have the Baral, because I have a bunch of things it will make cheaper. Woestrider is good too, Siphon Insight. I still take the Baral because the cost reduction is quite nice there. Saw It Coming. Well, I like it more than the Acquisitions Expert. Let's just be some kind of a counter spell deck. I'm not sure how good that's gonna be, but let's at least try. Okay, Brainstorm. I do have a Delver of Secrets here. I think it's enough reason to play the Brainstorm. Yeah, this is also a blue-black dual, but I have enough of them. I'll take the Brainstorm. Glass Pool Mimic came back. Baleful Mastery and Consider. I think I want to have access to some removal, so I will take the Mastery. It's also an instant speed card, which is good for this deck, because it has so many counter spells. Chainer's Edict versus Alrund or Haka. Do I want to have one of these heavy hitters, or just have this removal spell? I guess I have so much counter spells that I should maybe take just the Alrund here. Okay, so I got the Sign in Blood and Disdainful Stroke. I like the Disdainful Stroke as a sideboard card more. It's such a powerful card when you get to, counter some expensive spells. And I have so many playables in the deck that I don't think... I mean, the card draw is good, but it's not necessary at all. Here I can take the Sphinx of Foresight, which I don't know if I'm gonna play, but... I guess I could. I don't have that many 4 mana cards, but I also have 26 non-lands here. Although one of them is the Pelakka Predation, which I could count as a land. But I guess the deck building is coming very shortly, so I will figure out the final build at that point. No one took the Mayhem Devil. I don't think I need the Ogre of Plus, but I could have it sideboarded in as a... I can sideboard it in as against aggressive decks. Demonic Pact is interesting, but I think the Siphon Insight is better. Also, one other card that can make Delver flip. How many do I have total? Currently it's 13, but I'm going to maybe cut some number of them. And the last card was a dual land. It was not a dual land for my colors, but I got enough of them. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 dual lands. That's nice. So yeah, I think Ogre of Bolos, I will sideboard it in against decks that... I mean, against decks that... sorry, I just couldn't speak. So this is going to be good against some decks because of the 1-3 stat line. I will be sideboarding this card in against such decks, which is mostly like aggressive decks. This is otherwise not so good, because this can easily whiff because it only looks at 3 cards, and 1-3 for 2 is not really what I want to have in this deck. Okay, Clone Crafter is also... I mean, it's a pretty random effect, and it's just a 1 mana 2... sorry, 2 mana 1-2. Technically a 2 for 1, but you don't know what you are getting. It might not really be interesting at all. So I think I will also not play that card. And I don't think my deck needs the Guardian Idol. There's not much to ramp to, so probably I won't be playing that. I will just play 17 lands, and that's the mana sources there. And let's go to this deck building mode. Cut the lands for now. Okay, so currently it is 12 instants, 1 sorcery, so that's a reasonable amount for both, because both the Sedgemoor Witch and the Delver of Secrets care about those, so that's fine for them. I think I will be cutting from the main deck the Erebos' Intervention. It's not a very particularly efficient removal spell, and the graveyard might not matter in most games, so I will cut that from the main deck. And then, how many zombies that is, by the way? I have 3 zombies, but of course the Crypt Breaker can create more of those. I will play all the counter spells. But do I need something like an Alirius here? Do I need something like a Sphinx of Foresight here? I think it's something I won't be main decking. Because it's easy to remove with this cube. Have of course a bunch of removal, and some players do like to play a bunch of removal, so 4 mana 4/4, even though it flies, might not be what I want to do with this particular deck. I will play the Wrangle though, because of the haste. I can do something relevant with it right away. And the discard, well, the discard, but I mean all the triggers here can be beneficial. So that's 25 cards, but I think I will count them Pelakka Predation as a land. So that's basically 24 non-lands now. I will put in addition to the Pelakka Predation, I will put 16 lands. So I will cut only 1 more card. What is the least useful card in the main deck? I like the 1-drops because I can have a game plan of playing a 1-drop and then maybe leaving up some counter mana or things like that. I think the Alirius is something you could lose. Basically what you get from this is a 3 mana 3/2 and this thing as tapped creature, and then when a 3/2 dies, you get 2/3, then starts untapping, so that's kind of a 2 for 1 there. I will want to have some main deck removal. Baleful Mastery will be there. Maybe it is actually so that, because this figure isn't good against all decks. There are decks that play only like control decks that are planeswalkers or very big creatures. This figure is completely dead against them. So I will use this as a sideboard card. That will leave me 11 instants / sorceries for the Delver and Witch, which is still okay, I think. Yeah, that is fine. That is fine, and that's a lot of instants. 10 instants. Okay, I didn't want to do that. 10 instants for the Brinebone Cutthroat too. So that will be actually quite okay in this deck. How many black and blue cards? 16 blue, 10 black. Because of the double color cards, they are counted as both. Okay, this is the main deck. So this is best of 3 cube. I always play best of 3 cube. And also Decathlon finals will be best of 3 as well. So that's a lot of reasons to play as the traditional version of the cube. Yeah, I took all the lands, the Hive of the Eye Tyrant, I even remembered it. That 4 dual lands. Just quickly check if there's something I want to add to the deck. I don't think I forgot anything, so this is going to be the main deck. This is now 1 more black source. So there are 4 blue and black, and then 1 that is only black. So I guess if I know I have more blue cards, but I still have this 1 drops black cards. There are some double caster blues, but that's the reason you want to play these, dual lands, because that allows you to pick these double casters, and you usually should have mana for them. Actually, I was wrong, because the Pelaka Predation is also a black source. I actually should do it like this. Now that there are 2 black sources here, 4 that are both, and so if I put 1 island, should I put more islands? Because I do have more blue cards, and I have more cheap double casters also, the 2 mana counter spell here. So I think I'll do that. So what is happening here is that this is now 2 blue producing lands and 2 black producing lands, and then 4 which produce both. So now it's kind of an even mana base. It's 6 plus 6, but I need 9 more cards, and I will be adding 9 more lands here. So I will play 4 plus 5, which means because of the blue cards I have here, I will have 5 islands and 4 swamps. And then the final count is still pretty good because of my dual lands. Where it's something nice here. Let's take these Babros. So now, as you can see, this is 7 plus 4 blue sources here. That's 11, and then there's 6 plus 4 black sources, which is 10. This should be enough. I have some cantrips here too. Okay, that is the main deck there. Okay, I have an okay hand here. 2 lands. I can't play the Knight of the Ebon Legion turn 1 unless I happen to draw an untapped black source. But I think I'll still just play this one. Try to get a land here. That is a land which I can. That still enters untapped actually next turn, so that's totally fine. I can play the Knight of the Ebon Legion. Oh, I could play the Hakatu actually. Next turn I don't actually want to necessarily return this to my hand now that I did draw my 3rd land. So I will just play this with this, and then Brainstorm. I'm not sure if I want to play it right away. I'm not gonna play it now. It will be better if I draw a Sedgemoor Witch or a Delve of Secrets. Okay, that can be annoying, because they get to hit their land drops twice per turn now. I think that I will still play the Alirios here before I start leaving mana up for counter spells, because this 1-2 isn't really enough. So I will do this and hope they don't have anything too amazing here, and then I can start leaving a mana up for counters here. But they of course can play even a 6-drop here. Esika's Chariot though, it's the alchemy version, so only creates 1/2/2 there. Crypt Breaker. So how do I do it? This is not really. City's Blessing isn't happening yet, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9 permanents, so this can't attack or block unless they have some kind of instant speed effect that produces them another permanent. But of course, I have counter spells for that. So how do I do it? I can't attack with the 3/2. They can just crew the 4/4, and if I attack with the Knight of the Ebon Legion. Now I'm gonna just do it like this. And probably, do I let them attack with the chariot? I think I might have to. I mean, I will double block the chariot with the 3-2 and maybe the crypt breaker, because I don't think I'm gonna start using mana on this thing. Okay, disallow. Do I want to? Well, I can't. I don't have mana up for the dismiss, so I suppose I'll just counter this. Whatever. I don't want them to know what else I have in my hand. So now I will double block with the 3-2 and the crypt breaker. Okay, they didn't have a land drop, so this thing can't attack right now, but they will get City's Blessing when this trigger resolves. And then I can try to get rid of this thing. Let's see if it works. It did, and now I can just this can now attack and block. So I think I should just do this Alrund here. I know I have dismiss, but I also need to, you know, add it to the board here. No attacks now, and then so this works. You name a card type, and then reveal the top 2 cards of my library, and then if I reveal any of those card types that I mentioned, I will get to keep them. So my deck has a bunch of instants, bunch of creatures. I could say land, but I don't need any land, so I don't actually want to even draw a land, so I don't need them. I'd rather name something that I want to actually have in my hand. So let's say instant. There was a Maya Triton and a land, so actually a creature would have been good. The Death Toucher against the Wayward thing would have been quite nice. But I can get some value out of the Brainstorm. I can combine with this Alrund guy, the Brainstorm, so that will be nice. Is there a reason to attack with something right now? I don't think. I'm gonna play the Brainstorm. Although I will most likely... I want to keep mana up for the dismiss though. So I will actually do it like this. And then I will put... well, 2 instants. I guess they will now know about the counter spell, but who cares? They know only about one of them. So instant and instant. So I can now name instant here. Hopefully they don't... I guess I could have used a Brainstorm in response to this thing, but, well, that seemed to work. So that was just a draw 2. Nice. And now I can either counter, or I can draw cards with this thing. Elish None. Oh, they just maybe they have a reanimating spell there. I actually want to use the dismiss here. That's kind of sad. Maybe I should have shown them the dismiss, because this is just more mana efficient now, but they know about the counter spell, but I guess I just have to live with that. And I think I might want to do something with the Hive of the Ire Tyrant, because I can exile the Grand Cenobite. They might have a... because they played into my counter spell there. So they could have a Unburial Rites, for instance. Anyway, now... what to do here? This has many, so it can't be blocked. I can trade with one of the 2/2s here. But maybe it's just not necessary. I mean, I have so much spells to play here. I'm not gonna do that. I guess I could have attacked with the Alrund, but I wanna draw more cards. So now I have a bunch of... let's see, my deck has what, 11 instants? Sorry, 9 instants. Sorry, 10 instants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not a lot of instants left. I should say creature now. And there was an enchantment and a sorcery. Okay. Abundant Harvest. You can do that. Non-land. They go to Llanowar Elves. Probably not the card they needed there. They have an Unburial Right. So the thing is, they can... this has flashback too. So I will have to exile now the Unburial Rights there. But I can do it with the Hive of the Ire Tyrant here. Do I have a counter spell that exiles? I don't think. I will just do the counter right now. And then I will have to... I could use Siphon Insight twice or the Behold the Multiverse once, so I think I do the latter. No, the former, the one that like, allows me to use mana in a most efficient way. I'm not sure about the Nimble Obstructionist if I want to play it right now. Let's see what I reveal here. Night of Autumn, Skittering Surveyor. Well, the Night of Autumn will be better, so let's take that. And I could play this as a 3-power flyer to just start actually dealing some damage to the opponent. Now, that is a thing I can do. But I'm not sure. Well, okay, let's do it. Let's start attacking now. So I'm gonna use this now here. And I will be attacking with now they can just eat it. They can block with Lanover Elves and the Wayward Swordtooth, but I don't think there's much I can do about it. So let's do this and this. And let's get rid of the Unburial Rites. Now I could get rid of the LS Known too, because they might have other spells that, you know, reanimate. Currently they don't have any target for the Unburial Rites here. So that's something. But this will be my final way to yeah, well, I guess the thing is that the LS Known is too good if they get to reanimate it. So I'm going to just exile that instead and let them have the Unburial Rites there. It is really too good. Now, oh, they actually lose the 2-2 instead. Fine. I guess I'll just play the land and have the Siphon Insight. The Night of Autumn I will leave it if they have some kind of a, I'll say, creature here. Okay, now I got the sets more, which I think I'm going to leave these until they get something I wanna destroy, an artifact or an enchantment of some kind. No, they can try to exile my Siphon Insight, I guess. Well, let's see if they target that. Yes, they do. Okay, then. Yeah, I will exile the Immortal Sun. That is a good one. I'm not gonna get decked here, no. So I can trade with this thing if I want to. I'll be starting to draw some cards from the Immortal Suns. I might. Oh, look at this. They just conceded. Why? Interesting, really, because I was thinking about blocking with the Alrund and the Alirias, so they would have killed the Alrund, of course. Because I maybe didn't need it anymore. Well, anyway, they conceded. What about their deck? It's a green, black, and white. Has some reanimating stuff here. Can I exile things from a graveyard? Yes, I can. So exile up to twice X. Yeah, this is gonna be absolutely a blade in this deck. How about Bubble Snare? That's I didn't actually see that many. I saw the sword tooth, but they don't necessarily have a lot of creatures. Disdainful Stroke though, that will be good against a bunch of their cards. And anything else I care about? Disfigure won't be super good. I'm not gonna sideboard that in, mostly because I already have to cut 2 cards now. I have no idea what those cards should be. I like the flyer. It seems like one way to deal damage to the opponent. I guess I can cut the Alirias here. That's maybe not such an amazing one. And then maybe the Crypt Breaker too. Or maybe Dread Wanderer. Okay, that's rather than the Crypt Breaker. Okay, this is fine now. I think. Unless I want to also cut the Crypt Breaker and have something else, but like another flyer, hey. That's actually not so bad. Let's cut the Crypt Breaker. They seem to be a bit soft against flyers, so let's have the 4/4. That's fine. My cappuccino is chilling, so I have to cooling down, so I have to drink it before that happens. I'll keep it because I can play the Hakka, which allows me to I also drew a land there, but this allows me to scry and fix some land drops here, but maybe it won't be necessary now. I'll just rather use the memory lapse here. Now that's what's gonna happen. Also, I could use the Disdainful Stroke because they play the mana thing, so they can cast a 4-mana spell if they want to. Although if they cast a 4-mana spell, I think I will memory lapse it. Okay, well that is... I'll make them memory lapse that thing. Make them redraw it, I mean. Because a Disdainful Stroke, of course, doesn't work there. So I'll just play the Drowned Catacomb here. I probably will be playing the Obstructionist here. Just as a beater here. Sure. Now they will know about the Disdainful Stroke, or they make me discard it. They also can make me discard the Alrund or the Shark Typhoon. All of these cards will be good, so I don't actually care too much about which of them they decide to get rid of. They don't want me to have the Shark Typhoon. They had a Foretold card. Okay. I don't need more lands here. What can the Foretold card be? It can be multiple things, like a Doomscar or a number of things. Phyrexian Arena, can't counter that. Well, now I'm happy I have my flyer in here, because that is... Yeah, it's something I need to keep dealing damage here, because this will win them the game otherwise. Now, normally I would play the Alrund here, but this could be a Doomscar now, and they have double white available. I don't want them to clear my board here, which means that I'm just going to play the Maya Triton here, and keep up the Disdainful Stroke. Because they will take one life loss each turn, so I want to keep dealing damage to them. Cycling land, that's good if they want to use 3 mana for that. There's nothing yet to exile with the Eye Tyrant thing. Knight of Autumn, which can gain them life or become a bigger... Well, they're gonna gain life because this just trades with the 2-1 anyway. Okay, Knight of the Even Legion. Okay. I will attack. I guess... Yeah. I'll offer the trade here. But the life gain was really good for them because they have the Phyrexian Arena here. I can't cast the Alrund without leaving up. I need to leave up the 2 mana for the Disdainful Stroke. But it's fine, the Knight here is good enough. But they will get some... At some point they can actually leave up mana for the Cave of the Frost Dragon too, so I can't even attack with the Nimble Obstructionist. Mirari's Wake. So they do know, of course, about my Disdainful Stroke. But can I let the Mirari's Wake happen? That's probably too good. So I fear they might have an LS known there, but I'm gonna counter this. This is too good. Too good there, really. Okay, how to do it? Okay. Let's see what they do with the block here. They do block there, so I guess I'll just try to kill it then. And I will cycle the Fetish Pulse. Not now, but at the end of their turn. So now I will see what is the card they wanted to play after making me counter the Midori's Wake. Could be LS known. Stunham Unleashed. Well, that's also something that, you know, is a card with foretell. Right, so how do I beat the opponent now when they have all these blockers? That's a bit too late. Brainstorm. I guess I can... Well, what the good thing is, I can actually make this into a 7-8. Okay, yeah, so that's what I do. They have to block with 2 guys. Because it will get Death Touch too. So they will lose 2 tokens here, that is good. Yeah, that's enough, because now this will be a 7-8, so it will... The third one won't be required here. But I need to activate it once, and then I need to... guess I'll just leave up mana up for the... So it coming. Death Touch deals with 2 of them. But yeah, the Phyrexian Arena is going to be very good for them, but... Thoughts is, come on. I can hide, of course, stuff from with the So It Coming, but... yeah, I'll do that. So Brainstorm, maybe I draw like a 3 lands here so I can hide all my spells. Well, not quite. So 2 of them will go to my library. So if I play the Aldrun the next turn... I'm just thinking if I should let them snatch something here. The Repossession with Intervention, I could also use it to exile something like a Night of Autumn there. If I return the counterspell and the Aldrun here. How do I do it? I think I'm lost here anyway, because they've gotten too many cards from the Phyrexian Arena, and they are nowhere near decking out here. So... Because I also kind of want to kill the Angel Warrior, that's the thing here. Maybe I just let them... Maybe I'll just let them, you know, snatch the So It Coming here. Yeah, so I'll put the Aldrun and the Intervention here. Back to my tops, and I will draw the Intervention so I can at least try it. If they don't have any other way to... Because they also took 2 here. I mean, if they don't have any other way to block the flyer, although they do, they have the Dawn Cave of the Frost Dragon, which I just simply forgot there. I guess they don't have mana for it now, but they also get 3 life from this thing. Yeah, the life gain with the Phyrexian Arena, that's a bit too much now. I do have the Menace creature here too, but I guess they will go now to... That has Vigilance, so they can attack with that. But yeah, the problem is they are basically at 9 because of the food here. But, oh, whatever. So let's X equals 6, I guess. I get 6 life. And then I will attack them to 3, but sadly they will go back to 6, and then... Oh, Sword Plowshares. Well, I mean, of course, if they have they have been drawing 2 cards a turn for quite some long, so... yeah, this is bad. If they have any more life gain, I'm just gonna be dead, but they can just have anything that wins quickly now at this point. Turn Timber Symbiosis. Well, they get a creature from top 6 cards or 7, top 7 cards. If it's a mana value 3 or less, it gets 3 additional counters, so there's a Skittering Surveyor now. Well, that does mean I get to attack with Hive of the Eye Tyrant here. Although that means I won't be playing the Aldrun. Although maybe I'll play it as a flyer. I'm gonna definitely attack here for 3 because it has Menace, I can do that. Guess I'll play the Hakka then. So I get to exile something that they might be able to reanimate, which will be the Night of Autumn, so that they don't get to have life from it. Okay, I'll play the bird version here. Now, they do need to leave quite a bit of mana up if they want to have the Cape of the Frost Dragon there. But they do have a bunch of mana too here. Now this is of course going to be stuck as a flyer here now. Because I did play it. Maybe it was a mistake. But maybe I will find something. Me took massacre. Okay, well that's more life gain and they kill my stuff here. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they actually messed up. They really messed up there. They needed one more mana for that thing to work. Anyway, I will do this. Can I also? No, I have to foretell the. Behold the multiverse, but that's fine. Okay, so they are gonna go to 2 and then to 1, so this is going to be actually close. Any creatures here? Yeah, there is the Ornithopter. Okay. So now they need to have life gain, because they will die on their upkeep otherwise. Abundant Harvest. Yeah, that is not good enough. I will not even activate the Eye Tyrant, because if my creature dies, they gain life. I don't want to give them any creature to kill. So now they need a life gain on their upkeep. Yep, let's see what happens. The arena does kill them after all. Wow. Well, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. I wouldn't have had any chance without that thing. Alright, I'm going to be on the play with it's 5 lander, but I have a 2 mana counter spell with the 3 drop here. It's good enough, and I have one of my lands is a creature land, which proved very useful in the previous game. I'll just memory lapse anything. They have nothing, so in that. Oh, that's actually interesting now that I have a Delver. It does seem like they have a. It kind of seems like they could have a burn spell for the Delver. I don't want to memory lapse that. So I think I'm going to go with this plan. Just play the 3 drop. And then next turn I can get the Mana Tithe. Well, I guess they have a Mana Tithe. They were gonna get me anyway at some point. But that's something to keep in mind. Although, usually what I do, if I main deck a Mana Tithe and I play it in game 1, I usually will, in fact, sideboard it out. Alright, here it's time to play the Delver. Anything else is instant speed stuff. It does seem like they have a burn spell there. I don't care if they kill the Delver, it's not any kind of a guarantee that it would even transform. So I'd just rather do that. And then I will. So this says, as long as it's attacking, it gets +2 plus. Oh, alright. I'll take 2 then, and I will either counter a spell or play the Obstructionist. Yeah, you can try that again. Oh, I made a mistake there. I should have actually disallowed it, because I didn't realize I have all the mana. I could have double spelled on the next turn. How annoying is that? Oh, that was a mistake, because now that was totally done. I could have countered that and then played the Nimble Obstructionist and the Memory Lapse there. But, well, that was that. I guess I'll just well, let's see what they do. They know I have something because I didn't even attack with the Hive here. But darn, they got the Adan to Vanguard there. The Mana Tithe was annoying. So, should I just disallow this thing? Yeah, I should. I don't think I can raise that. I need to draw something good. That is something okay. I think I won't be using it right now. I will play the Nimble Obstructionist end of their turn, I think. But they are stuck at, well, they do have 4 lands now, but this means also they have 4 spells in their hand. I'm gonna go down to 11 currently, so not too convinced I have a good chance in this game. Shield Breaker is fine. Anything else? Let's first see what they have there. Get something very good from them, ideally. This is not good, but it's something. The cave I can't use it because I don't have a white mana for it. So let's play the flyer. There's not much else to do, I think. They have more instant speed burn spells. Well, they have the Adan to Vanguard ability up, so that's the reason they always have stop for their priority, because they can always choose to pay for life. So let's now see it. Okay, Crypt Breaker. This will cascade into a 1 mana spell if I have 4 or more card types among. Well, I don't think I will have 4 or more card types. Well, the Crypt Breaker can block the Shield Breaker. So maybe I will in fact go for a raise. It's not like I can trade with the Vanguard here. So this thing can't block at all. But the Crypt Breaker blocks the Shield Breaker. Everything breaks something. And then the Marauder here. That actually still leaves mana up for the... I can play the Siphon inside. Maybe I should have done it first. Maybe I could have found a better play from their deck. It's possible, but it's too late now. This is still fine. I played 2 creatures and... okay, they have a... well, I guess I'm gonna trade with that instead. They had a flash 3-1. So I'm gonna take 5 here. And if they kill the Crypt Breaker, I'm gonna take even more than that. Let's hope they don't have a removal spell. I do have the 3-3, which I can use to, block the Embered Shield Bearer. It requires a lot of mana though, but I can do that. And I will be attacking for 6 unless I have to leave this Obstructionist to block. Opponent is thinking about their plays. Okay. Maybe I'll pause until they do something. Okay, they went to attacks. Didn't play anything. And here. Blocking here. This guy go to 6. They have an Ember Cleave. Well, let's see what their deck has. I will lose now, don't I? Well, I mean, yeah, I will lose now. This will attack, trample over way too much. Lightning Strike would have been good, but it's not going to be, because I'm gonna take 7 plus 5, 12 damage. Not good. But hey, the Ember Cleave is my first pick in my previous draft. It is such a good card. And of course, black and blue don't really have ways to deal with the artifacts, but I have a bunch of counter spells at least. Disdainful Stroke does deal with that, but it doesn't deal with a bunch of their other cards, so I'm not going to sideboard Disdainful Stroke in. But am I going to play Ogre of Bolas against this opponent? It's actually a good idea, because their 1/3 body does matter against them. What I don't need is the thing that enters tapped, I think. And Bubble Snare is also a card that is a clean answer to the Adan to Vanguard. Also, what is a clean answer is Disfigure and the Rebos's Intervention. These also answer their other cards quite nicely. I think I'll still take the Bubble Snare, but this is a lot of cards I sideboarded in. I think the Silumgar's command is not going to be that good. Counter target, yeah, it's too expensive for what it does. And then I need to cut also something like a... I guess one of the counter spells. They are very good against they are good against, of course, the Ember Cleave. But yeah, Siphon Insight. This is the kind of card you don't really have time for against an aggressive deck. And then one more cut. I do like the idea of the Disallow, but it could also... I mean, I still have a Memory Lapse counter spell and a Saw It Coming. This is a land, so I'm not gonna cut that. Behold the Multiverse. Kind of like the idea of playing the Sphinx of Foresight. They might not have good removal for a 4 toughness creature. And then I will cut the Disallow, and then something else still. Delver, Crypt Breaker. I guess the Crypt Breaker isn't really that good against them. So this is the sideboarded deck. Yep, that's good. I can curve out normally. If it's an island, I will keep Bubble Snare. I have only one. Okay, I'll keep the Bubble Snare. I think it will be good enough. And I don't need to draw another land right away. They have mana up for... Oh, they have mana tithe. They have mana tithe. That has to be it. Right. Well, let's attack. They didn't want to... They did not want to counter this thing. Now I do think they have a mana tithe, which means I will, instead of having the nimble obstructionist here, I will just foretell this thing. And they can play whatever they want to play there. This is also, by the way, this is a 1 mana counterspell. Okay, that thing, I can deal with that using the Bubble Snare, I think. They can sacrifice it, but I mean, they have to sacrifice it to kill the Bubble Snare. Do I have any other enchantment or artifact in the deck? I don't think I do. So it doesn't matter, they have this on-board effect here. I will use the Sword Coming on something else. It is indeed going to cost only 1 thanks to Baral here. Aha, gotcha. I get to loot. Okay, let's draw a card, see if it's something better. The land is good for dismiss because I need second blue for it, but I also want to keep all the rest of the stuff. I will find another blue source at some point. I don't need to dismiss right away. Okay, this figure works too. Maybe I should leave the Baleful Mastery for something actually big, because it is quite tempting to just use it now, it's mana efficient. Tough. It's actually tough now. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play the Nimble Obstructionist now so that Mana Tithe doesn't get it. And because this still is providing me some counter discounts, I won't be blocking the Gather Commando here. I will take the 3 here. Young Pyromancer. Well, that needs to die ASAP. Sadly, they had a removal spell. So they get a free token, but I suppose my Baral can block them. So now what I'm doing here... I'm going to disfigure this guy. I'm gonna Bubble Snare without kicker this guy. And then I can trade damage or I mean, I have less life than they do, so maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should in fact leave the Baral to block. Okay, it died. They have 2 cards in hand, and I think one of them is a Mana Tithe. Well, that means I can play the Dismiss or the Baleful Mastery without caring about Mana Tithe, so I don't actually mind having drawn the thing there. Okay, so super annoying, but I think I need to draw the card. I still suspect the final card in their hand is a Mana Tithe, so I should counter the threat now. Okay, Behold the Multiverse. Let's just do it. I will not have the Shipwreck Marsh, but this removal spell is good enough. And I'm not playing the Knight of the Ebon Legion here because of the Mana Tithe, and I'm also not playing the Fetid Pulse here because I want to cycle it into a card. Now the opponent has all the time they have priority because of this ability being able to destroy the Bubble Snare here. But I'm almost absolutely certain that they do have a Mana Tithe in their hand. They are flooding out, which is good for me, of course. I will first cycle this. I'm not playing them. Okay, this is good, so I can do... Yeah, I'll do this because that allows me to at least block the 1/1 here, unless the last card in their hand is an Embercleave, in which case I can use the Erebos's Intervention to kill it in response. And again, I'm not planning to play the Brinebone Cutthroat with my final mana here. Phoenix of Ash, I can exile it. That's good. They're gonna pump it now once. I will go down to 7, but such is life. Exiling this is important because of the escape ability, of course. Okay, land is good. Yeah, I have to do it. I would love to get the counter on the Cutthroat, but the problem again is that if I play both the Cutthroat and the Baleful Mastery, that's all my mana, and Mana Tithe gets me. So, and I don't plan to give them a card from this card. I should be winning the long game with the Aldrund, but let's see if I ever get there. That can eat an Erebos's Intervention, which is nice, and again I have to use all my mana for it, so I'm not gonna play it right now. And now what I can do is I just do the Cutthroat thing. I will play the Cutthroat and then the Erebos's Intervention to get a counter spell, +1/+1 counter on the Cutthroat here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to... Well, that's interesting actually. I'm gonna... Do they have a Embercleave? I have to be careful about Embercleave now. Okay, I will do it like this. They do have Embercleave. Okay, who are they going to target with it? Vanguard. So I can do this. Cutthroat, and then I can play the Intervention. X equals 2, that leaves me exactly 1 mana and I get 2 life here. Kill this thing. And then they won't have a board. But of course with the Embercleave around, I'm gonna have a big rush in here. Big rush in here to not die. So I will just play the Aldrund here. Yep. And that will find me some type of cards. Maybe instants are most important. I have a lot of instants here though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I won't have that many instants. I think it's a creature then. I will choose creature. I could use the Brainstorm, but I want to use it on their turn to get a counter for the Cutthroat. Typhoon, Shark Typhoon and a land, alright. Okay then. Legion's Landing. Okay, so that's gonna be a 1-1, sorry, 2-2 double striker. I need to brainstorm now. I need to try to quickly finish the game. I have the mana tithe mana again. This is going to be a 1-1 for a while, but 1-1 is good enough. And I have to, of course, put 2 of these back. Delver won't be flipping, so it's going to... I'm, of course, taking the wrangle here. So these will go back, and I will be... I mean, of course, I will draw one of these guys. Let's see. That the land is better, isn't it? Yes, the land is better. And is this a forced? So, I mean, this hasty guy, this can say each player loses 1 life and draws a card, sacrifice a creature. That is bad one. This is gonna be a 2-2 if I play a card from my hand, so it can't attack into the double striker. But if this is 7, is this a lethal attack? I can pump this twice, it's gonna be 5, 8, that's 12. Okay, that won't be lethal. So I will play a Rankle here. So that's now 7 plus 2 is 9. If I activate it once, it's 12. Yeah, and I can make us lose 1 life, but the opponent would go to 1 here. Not good. But I'm not dying to this Ember Cleave. Now this thing has lifelink though. It is annoying, surely. But now why wouldn't I just... I'm of course doing it like this. This makes the most sense. I will leave the Knight of the Evil Legion as a blocker. That's the best thing I could do here. I was a fool. They can just kill that. That's fine. That is fine. And we don't do any of this stuff. Definitely not. Done. And now I will play a Tyrant thing here, and I will of course mention a creature, because I know I will be getting a creature here. The other one was a land. Okay. They found a good one again. Not nice. They will get a dragon with it. That's dangerous. Counterspell, not good enough now. So I can survive an attack. I will take 6 here. They will get a dragon, which is huge. But I can deal a bunch of damage by activating the Evil Legion twice. Although I do wanna... Well, anyway, what I'm gonna do here anyway is that I will... attack with these guys. And then I will pump at least once in here. How about this? Yeah, if I want to keep the counterspell up, I shouldn't do it twice. So this is now 8 damage. And I can take this damage here. Then they will have the 5/5 dragon. But I have a bunch of attackers, including a menace guy. So I can go make them go to 8. I mean go to 7 or 4 or maybe even 3 if I choose to draw and discard. Sorry, draw and lose life. This is tough now. This is really tough. Because I want to have the Delver and the counterspell, but it might just be... I might just have to hope that they draw a land. I think that's how it goes. I can play the Delver without the mana tithe bothering me. Yeah. And I don't think I want to use any of these. Done. Delver. Can I win on the next turn? Let's get an instant. I think an instant is the most likely card that can do something here at least. Sedgemoor Witch and a Pelaka Predation. I haven't seen the Witch really much here. Okay, so I didn't get a card, but now I will go down to 3 here at least. If they have something, I might even die here. I'm not gonna jump block or anything, because they will have only 1 blocker and they are only at 4 life. They can boast to have a dragon, but 1 blocker is not enough to deal with all this. So let's see. And if I can untap with a counterspell, I'm actually very safe in that case. Do they have a burn spell? Lightning bolt to face, lightning strike. A royal eruption, all those are in the cube. Decline this, but now with the counterspell this should be easy. This leaves me enough, and I have even the mana tithe. I have exactly mana for a counterspell and the mana tithe payment. But yep, this was lethal even without the Hive of the Eye Tyrant here. Alright. Ember Cleave, that is a nasty one. Did I see something for the Disdainful Stroke? Not really. I mean, the only card that is counterable by the Disdainful Stroke is the Ember Cleave, or if they choose to cast the Valkyrie half of the this card. So definitely not gonna have the Disdainful Stroke. I don't really have many ways to gain life. I have like a few intervention, Mitrites, and then the pest tokens that can be created with this thing. So that's not really a lot ways to gain life for this Witch of the Moors. 5 mana 4 for death touch is not exactly interesting to me, I don't think. So let's just hope they don't find the Ember Cleave. Or I have a removal for them like I did have for the creatures that are about to be equipped like I had in the previous game. Okay, let's have a good curve. I need some place on turn 2. Well, this is a one-lander. Darn. Mulligan. But this is a fine one. And I can get rid of the swamp here. I want to have the scry on the temple here. Isamaru. I do think that I could disfigure this right away, but do I want to have a counter on this thing? Nah, I'll just disfigure it right away. I know they could have some other, guys too, but I also don't want to start taking 2 damage per turn against that kind of a deck. Adanto Vanguard is, a lot nastier, but at least my deck does have some answers to it. And they might have the annoying force spike, so let's play this on the main phase. If they use a burn spell on this, that doesn't matter to me that much, but I don't want to get countered by the mana tithe here. But now I don't know if they have it in their hand. In the previous game I knew. Well, I mean, it's possible they didn't have it, but then they had to use some kind of a clever manual stops or full control to cheat it. Well, no, it's not cheating, but to kind of represent it, even though they don't have it. So, let's see. There's an adversary. Well, I'll just try to block that thing. Well, let's get rid of them. If they have it, then they have it. They did counter this in the previous game too, so in the game 1, yeah, they had the mana tithe. But now if they not have only that, but also have a burn spell on the cutthroat, then it's just too much to handle. Hopefully they don't have that. Okay, we just trade here. Ember Cleave. If they have also that, okay, well they didn't. So now there's a chance. Remorseful Cleric, sure. This is kinda annoying, because if there's nothing to counter, I'm gonna keep that. If there's nothing to counter, then I should foretell. But if I foretell, I can't do anything. So I think I have to leave mana up for the thing there. But again, the Adanto Vanguard is... I could have disfigured it, but then the Isamaru would have been connecting all the time, so it's not really that big of a difference there. Hopefully they just have a spell I can counter. If they don't, I will be... I mean, I don't like the situation at all. In that case... Okay, doesn't matter which spell it is. But the Alirias would have been good. I could have blocked the Adan to Vanguard a couple of times with it. And they have to pay 4 life each time they make it indestructible, so they can't do it like forever. Okay, now I just need to... Oh man, if they draw another land, they can activate this thing. I think I am done here in this match now. They had a too good of a start, and the Mana Tithe especially is too much to handle. So... Oh, well, that's a really convenient draw there. Let's just go to next match. This is too much. And I'm gonna lose to the 4-3 flyer anyway when they eventually find a land. Okay, this is very fine. I would love to be on the play, but it's still okay. Another aggressive white-based deck. Brainstorm, I will use it when I get to have a counter for the Cutthroat. I don't need to use Brainstorm for anything right now. And maybe I can find even like a Delver of Secrets or the Set Small Witch, which I haven't been able to cast yet. Well, there it is. There it is. Now I have the option to just block the Bodyguard with the Brine Bone and Cutthroat, but I think given my instance I maybe shouldn't do that. Or maybe I should actually. I'm taking a bunch of damage from there. Okay, fine. Let's try it. If they have a burn spell, then they have a burn spell. I think blocking is actually the choice here, because I'm going to just play the Set Small Witch here, which I wouldn't have been using for the blocking purpose either. So... if I want to have at least one pest token from it, I should not play the Witch yet. Because then I can play the Witch and the Brainstorm on a following turn. And I can now leave mana up for the Disallow and the Nimble Obstructionist. That is tempting though. The 1/1 pest token can be relevant when they have these vampire tokens. So yeah, let's do that. Let's not play the Witch quite yet. And who knows, maybe they have something like a Chandra or something I want to absolutely counter here. Well, the Lieutenant is something I want to absolutely counter, so... That was good. That was really decent. Now I will not be leaving Counterspell up. I definitely want to get pest tokens when I counter something. Alright, so that's annoying. I will take 6 here now, but... And they get to transform that thing, but there was nothing I could have done that to prevent that. Yeah, let's see what I draw. This says counter non-creature spell, bounce, kill. Okay, I can get rid of 2 things with this. So what I don't need here, well, I'm gonna draw one of these cards, so the one card I won't be needing on the next turn is going to be, I think, the Behold the Multiverse, unless I wanna... No, it's gonna be Behold the Multiverse and then I draw the land. Like this. And I will take 6 here. They will go back to 1/1 now. So I have now options. Okay, if they just attack, then I will just trade. It's not such a big deal. Such a big deal at all. I know I could have left the Witch to block here, but I kind of didn't want to do that. I wanted to start dealing some damage to them. At least now I got rid of the lifelink, or these guys don't have a lifelink. Isamaru. Alright, so... Yep, that's fine. I can kill it and bounce a token. that thing though, I can counter target non-creature spell and kill a target Isamaru. Set some more witch. Okay, they actually burnt me. That is really that is really nasty. Okay, but they have only one card left here. I need to have a counter spell up, but I also think I can maybe behold and have one untapped land here coming up, so I can leave a memory lapse up. That is my plan. Scry to draw. I don't think I care about the Delver here, but the land is good for the memory lapse. And of course there was a useless second land, but oh well. And now I have here 2 blockers, so and memory lapse on one thing they might have. They just make a token, alright, and then no attacks. Well, this Aldrund will be good, and I have still a mana up for the memory lapse here. Now I'm no longer going to attack with this because I want to keep it alive. I should name creature here. Should I attack? Maybe with 1. Creature is gonna be good. And I drew 1, the other one was a swamp. Okay. Rankle, so I can fly here a bit. Light up the stage. I think you can redraw that thing. Hopefully they don't have something even better to counter. Sark Typhoon. I don't think I'm gonna play it as a 6 mana enchantment. I'll just attack with these guys now. Oh, they don't want to finish the game, what? I would have attacked with the 5/5 Aldrund and also... Why is this screen so bright suddenly? Anyway, this 5/5 and at least... No, I would have played the Rankle, or would I? Actually, no, I want to keep Dismiss up, so I would have played the Nimble Obstructionist instead, because I had 7 mana here for the Obstructionist and then Dismiss here. So I would have attacked with the 5/5 and one of the 1/1s, I guess. Now, Disfigure goes in, Erebos' Intervention goes in, Ogre of Bolas goes in. I don't need Disallow. I don't need the Silumgar's command, although it was good in there, but that's not usually going to be the case. I like the Swings of Foresight as a 4/4, body on the battlefield, and I don't care about, again, some of the small guys. Dread Wanderer and Cryptbreaker can go. How about the Delver? It still has 11 cards that can make it transform. I could also take something like a Clone Crafter, which is also going to block and give me a creature from their deck. So I'm going to change the Delver into that. And then there's the Bubble Snare. It's 1 mana removal, basically. So it's kind of interesting. Is there something I want to cut in here? I guess the Siphon Insight is... It is also going to be +2 cards if the game goes long, but will it? Maybe I'll try it. If it feels too slow, then I will put the Bubble Snare in. But this is the finished sideboarding now. Yep, I don't have a turn 1 drop here, but it's still, of course, a totally fine hand. This enters tapped, and then if I want to, because this is also island and a swamp, so that makes the Drowned Catacomb enter untapped. So I think I'll just do that and perhaps play the Knight of Even Legion and just kill the Rimrock Knight. I'm not going to start taking start taking 2 damage. Sorry, 3 damage a turn here. I wonder how I should sequence these cards now. It totally depends on what the opponent is gonna do. Don't have a history of Benalia. That would be annoying. That's not nice either, but maybe it's somehow doable still. So I'll just play the island here, and I have the Soit coming up. I also have the the pump effect up, so maybe they won't attack with that thing, although all they need is some kind of an instant speed effect. Okay, so now I know they have something, because otherwise this becomes a 3-4. I'm not gonna block it. I'll just take 2 here. Hopefully they give me something to counter. Well, I'm gonna counter that. I don't want to give them access to 2 more cards. That is a really good one. So what I'm doing here is I will foretell this thing, and I will attack now for 1, because I know they're gonna attack anyway. So every creature spell gives them a 1/1 thing here. Okay, they didn't have a red permanent because they would have wanted to play it before this. So now I have a counter spell, or I can have a Behold the Multiverse. I think I'll just have to counter most everything they can have. Although I guess I could have let this one resolve, because they might have a 3-mana card still. But at least they didn't. So I guess this I'm not going to attack anymore, because I want to block at least 1/1 in here. So now I have a Dismiss and a Behold the Multiverse. I need to do something about the Anax though. I guess I can take the 2, but okay, now they are thinking about not attacking, are they? Maybe they are fearing that I might have another counterspell, but I don't, and well, I have one, but I don't have a counterspell that allows me to use the pump ability. I'm going to just let this happen. I'll just take 2. It is something I can live with, and then I will have some card draws, either from Dismiss or the Behold, and maybe even the Brainstorm, although I'm not sure about the Brainstorm if I wanna use it like this. Okay, that is going to get countered. I'm going to wait with the Brainstormer a bit. Pelaka Predation, well, that's something that allows me to see what they actually have there. If it's something that costs 3 or more, well, I mean, this might also whiff, but at least I get information. Okay, they have a Swords to Plowshares. Now that's the thing they are holding. Okay then. Well, now I know. Not going to attack for 1 here. So let's see if they go for it. Phoenix of Ash. Well, that was convenient. Oh boy. Might Triton and Memory Lapse. Well, I don't need the Memory Lapse. I'm behind here. Myra Triton will be able to block the Anax here, but do I need to use the Brainstorm too? Maybe not. I will see what I draw first. But I'm taking 7 damage. This is too much. Yeah, them drawing the Phoenix of Ash. Right, because I knew what they had in their hand. This was the card they drew here. That was a really good draw for them. Okay, why is this now somehow lagging? Why aren't they not attacking here? I don't know what's going on. Should I reconnect to the client here, because okay, they just were AFK for a bit. Now I'll take a little bit too much damage, and not even if that doesn't matter, the fact that they have this pumpable flyer for which I don't have an answer right now. That is the actual problem. It also has escape, so if I don't exile it, it doesn't work. I guess the Siphon Insight is maybe... Maybe I'll first do the Brainstorm, see if I actually have something on the top 3. Well, there is a Baleful Mastery. That's good. And I get to mill 2 cards. Well, that is also fantastic. So 2 lands will be milled here now. That's actually quite good. The Mighty Triton and Brainstorm is really decent, actually. Sadly... No, I do have a land drop, so it's not sad at all. I can just exile... Oh, this is sweet. I have it all now. It would be great to exile the Anax here, but I need to exile Phoenix here. Maybe I should have actually... Oh yeah, I definitely shouldn't have done that on my turn. There are cards in this format that give protection. Okay. But maybe they would have spent some mana for that. But I guess in the end it didn't matter. Hey, that was a good draw. That was definitely a good draw. Let's find something very nice here. This is a kind of problematic because this will... Wait a minute, when Rekindling Phoenix, create a token at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this creature and return target card from your graveyard. Okay, so the opponent won't get it. But I have only one use for this thing. I wonder if I should use the Casual's Fury instead. Although it is a 4/3 flyer, that gives me an 0/1. I guess it's fine enough. So I will jump block the Anax. I'm not going to... Or maybe I don't even jump block it. Because I'm going to get more... let's see. I'm definitely not trading with the Witch, that is for sure. I guess I will use the Rekindling Phoenix to block with, so I'm gonna just block here. Cutthroat. So play the Phoenix right now and then the Cutthroat on their turn. Or the Siphon Insight if I need to. Okay. Siege Can Commander. Oh, come on. What the heck? You had to draw like a 5-drop here now. Oh, okay then. I'm dead. Unless I draw an answer for that thing, which I still might do, but... Whoa. This is horrible. So I need to find an answer from their deck. I missed the counter on that thing. That doesn't work. Siege Can Commander, what a top deck there. That was a bit too good. So do I care about the Bubble Snare here? It is good against Anax. And what was I thinking about cutting if I don't... If I put that card in, like a counter spell. I don't think I care about it that much. I'll just use the same deck. At least I will be on the play now. I thought I stabilized there, but then they drew the Siege Can Commander. That was all over. Okay, anyway, this is a good one. I get to play the... I guess the Shipwreck Marsh now, and then the Hive of the Eye Tyrant, so I can play the Cutthroat on turn 2, and then I don't have any... Well, actually I do have, because this cares about any spell I'm gonna cast on their turn, so it also works with the Nimble Obstructionist. They have a Rimrock Knight, which cannot actually block, which is good for me now. So I can actually this time raise the opponent, and I will play the Obstructionist over the Sedgemoor Witcher now, because I wanna give one counter to the Cutthroat right away, and have this nice flyer here. Okay. Hard mode engaged, but it is fine. I get to play the Witch and the Knight of Ebon Legion here, that's fine. I will offer the trade here. They will get only one token if they block here. If they didn't block here, I would have gotten a counter on the Knight here, but no such luck. I know I could use the Shark Typhoon here, but I just prefer doing this. I mean, I could get the 1/1 here, but that's not really so good. I might even want to play this for a bigger value of X. Okay, Heroic Reinforcements. That's a really good card. That's the one of the cards that helped me win all the matches in the previous draft. But now I'm facing here 10 damage. I'm gonna go to 7. I mean, I can only charm block with the Knight of the Ebon Legion. I can trade with the Rimrock Knight, and I actually have to do it. Well, I don't have to, but I will do it for the reason that I don't have any triggers for this right now. So it's fine. I saved 4 damage, and I immediately drew a trigger for it. I will start attacking with these guys. That gives my Ebon Legion a counter, and I will actually do it like... Or maybe... No, I'm gonna just cycle the Shark Typhoon. Because if I play this as a 2-3... Yeah, I'm gonna cycle here. I'll get to block one of the 1/1s. Hopefully they don't have an Embercleave in that deck. Legion's Landing... I don't actually want that to... It will transform if they attack with 3 or more creatures, right? Yeah, so maybe I have to disfigure. Well, especially now. Especially now, yeah. But am I going to play the Shark Typhoon now? Because it's only a 1/1. That's interesting, actually. But then I would have 4 power in the air, which will continue giving me counters from the Knight of the Ebon Legion. And if I draw like a land, I wanna play this thing. Yeah, I do it now. I'm not gonna block, but I wanna at least keep the... I mean, if I do it now, I have the option to maybe block if I really want to. But I don't think I'm gonna block here. No, I get to kill the Bastards Lieutenant. I go to... Yeah, not going to block. Although, actually blocking would have allowed me to prevent this from transforming on the next turn, potentially. And I don't actually get to kill it because it would require x equals 4 and I have x equals 3. So that was not so great now. I don't even have 3 blue here, which means that I cannot play the Haka and the leave a counter spell up. So the simple thing what I do here is I will attack with my flyers. Now that I didn't block, I should do this, make them go to 7, have my Ebon Legion Knight be bigger, and I'll just leave the counter spell and the Erebos's intervention up, and of course the activated ability for the Knight of the Ebon Legion too. This thing has vigilance. So I'm gonna block here. I'm not gonna use a pump ability. I will use the Erebos's intervention to finish it, and then I still have the counter spell up, because now x equals 1 is enough. Yeah, that is going to get countered. And then I will kill the lieutenant here. They will start making these 1/1s, but I think with my flyers I can still be in a good shape, because I also get the blocker here. Even if I don't draw land, I can have this. Oh, and Memory Lapse is actually good. Now this is a lethal... No, it's not a lethal attack, because... I mean, even if they have just a land in hand, because they can make a jump blocker for the Knight of the Ebon Legion, which means that there's no reason to attack with that. I can't activate this. Well, I can activate it, but then it would be tapped, so that makes no sense. But I mean, this is going to be darn good, because I have the blocker here now. Come on. Just in case I leave non-basic. I use them basic, non-basics here, so basic lands will be left up now. So this is gonna be the Haka. And then I can counter whatever spell they might have. So I'm actually liking my chances right now. I am at 7, so there's not like one single card. I mean, if they have one single card that can deal me 7, I can counter that. They would have to have 2 cards that can finish me off. And it doesn't really seem very likely at all. I also have 6 power worth of attackers in the air, so even if they attack with the life linker here just to gain some life, that will not be enough. And that was the end. So I lost to one of these red-white aggressive decks and I won one. So, and I won the game, the match number 1. I don't actually recall what was the opponent there, but in the cube draft, when you go to 2, I mean in the traditional cube draft, when you go to 2 wins, you get your entry fee back and some cards too. So it's the sweet spot. And the third win isn't even worth that much more. It's worth 2,000 gold more and one additional guaranteed rare card. So I guess I could see the deck if there's anything to say about it. Well, I think there is some possibility to do this kind of a flash/instant deck. So there's a Baral that makes your counter spells and all other instants too. And sorcery is cheaper. Brinebone Cutthroat is of course pretty good for this archetype. There's a Nimble Obstructionist. And there are, well, Shark Typhoon, various instants. So this is an interesting archetype. It doesn't necessarily have to be blue-black. It can be, I guess, blue-red easily too. But also seems like something you can draft in this cube. Let's now take the prizes to see what's the rare here. It's a Temple of Epiphany from M20, which I of course have completed because I have every set from Guilds of Ravnica onwards completed, but still that was 20 gems, I suppose. Claim the prize here. And yeah, that was my second recorded cube draft. So the previous cube draft video, which published 24 hours ago, that was my first cube draft of this current iteration of the cube. But before this recording, I actually did draft 3 other times, just by my own, and I did get twice 3 wins and once 2 wins, so they were very decent results. And my decks were green-white, sort of mid-range with some little synergy with +1 counters. That deck went 2-1. Then I had a very interesting base green, but it also had blue and red, so it's that like Temur colors. Just heavy hitters, big draw spells, and a lot of ramp spells. So that was the kind of a base green ramp deck. That was a very fun deck to play. That went to 3 wins. And then I actually had my previous draft just before this one was very close to this deck. It was a blue-black deck that had similar cards to this. Not quite the same, but still kind of the same plan with a few counter spells, a few instant speed removals, and some cheap creatures to apply some pressure. That also got to 3 wins. So this was my 5th draft of this cube now, and I won't be drafting anymore before the finals start. So that will be my next draft, and I will have 3 of these finals participations, and I will be, of course, recording all of them, and they will be published in a few days then after the event has been after the event is over. And also Crimson Vow drafts continue publishing on my channel each day as well. If you don't care about cube, there's still going to be, well, I suppose if you don't care about cube, you are not here to listen to this, but just if you care about both, there will be also Crimson Vow drafts publishing. Yep. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.